Ooh. Hello, and welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, part of the Cup Network, where we put the real entity in reality, and we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spit the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. And I did not forget to put me and David in the studio right before the warm went out. I was
wondering.
Right on time. I was perfectly on time. But if I'm drinking water because that's what I'm doing. But if I were drinking anything else, I would be drinking out of my cup mug, panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs, And you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. We do ship domestically here in the U.S. and we do ship in Canada, Mexico, and we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses, period. And if you haven't checked out the Etsy shop in a minute, you should do that because we have some new items that have come into the shop. And also, we have some new items dropping tomorrow night. So check out the Etsy shop tomorrow night. I have my Pride collection coming out, more cup merch coming out, and Juneteenth stuff coming out. So check all of that out in lanagcreations.etsy.com. Period.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. Can you tell who's on my shirt, Lana?
No.
That's Bob the drag queen.
I should have known. Yes. Bob was there.
Yes. And you know what? I'm sending good vibes to Bob right now, wherever she is in the world. I'm hoping things are going very well for you, Bob. Kill it. Literally. And I'm just drinking some water.
Word. Look, is that a fresh bottle of water, David?
It is. Wait, no. I think, let me double check. It is a fresh bottle. I was like, I think I might have taken one sip out of it when we did a podcast the other day. I don't think so because this one is sealed. Let's crack that open.
Let's crack that water open.
Let's go ahead and do this, everybody. I am taking the bottle. I am twisting the cap. There we go. Oh, that was France that I did ASMR.
Yes.
Well, now our All-Stars viewers get some of it too.
David has a great voice for ASMR, so we always tell him that he should just do it. And so every now and then we get a sneak peek of ASMR. Yeah. David, we love that. We love that. But yeah, we are here to talk about All-Stars 9, episode 6. And yeah, it was an episode. It was on TV. And I laughed, so that makes it a little funny. So
I laughed a lot.
Me too. I
didn't think I would laugh at.
Absolutely. I was like, oh, I'm laughing when I didn't think I would be. But before we deep dive into episode 9, hit the subscribe button here on this channel. We appreciate you all who have subscribed. We would love to get more subscribers. So share the video with your friends. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching this video. Hit the notification bell so you will never miss a video because we are ramping up in DragRace seasons all over again. We have All-Stars 9 happening. We have France happening. Mexico is starting next week, so we're jumping right back into that. Drag is here, and we're going to keep talking about it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button here. Go to our link tree. We have 3 other channels. Words are hard today. We have 3 other channels where you could subscribe to and join the Cup Network. We would appreciate all the subscriptions on all of our pages to help us out so we can continue to crank out really great content for you. You can also join our membership channel here or on Patreon, so we have early access over here and across all 4 channels, and exclusive content across all 4 channels. So check all of that out. Do all the things. Also, our audio podcast links are also down there. So if you just want to listen to us on the go, click those links as well. We appreciate you doing that. So yeah, that's the thing. All Stars 9, David. We are jumping back into it, where they're coming back into the workroom, and Roxxxy is like, "Oh, that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing for me to do." And then I turned around and was like, "Oh no, I can't do Angie. I can't. Oh my god. I don't know. I just hope Mick is not going to be so mad at me, because I live for Mick. I live for Mick. And I hope she's not gonna be so mad at me. Oh my god." And then Mix walks in the room. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, girl." And Mick was like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's like, "I mean, Roxxxy, I don't think that you kind of did that. I think you kind of did that on purpose. Like, I think you knew where we were all standing, and you did that on purpose." And she's like, "No, oh my god, no, I would never. I didn't. I did like this when y'all came on stage, so I would know who was where. No, I would never." I was like,
You know, I wasn't here last week to talk about the episode. So I
mm-hmm.
definitely have some strong thoughts on how that all went down. First of all, Roxxxy never should have been in the position to make this cut, because she shouldn't have been in the top 2. I heard you all said, I think you both had Plastique and Nina as your top 2. For me, it would have been Plastique and Angeria. I thought
She
they
was
both
third.
killed
She
it.
was literally third for me.
That's fair. But yeah, it should not have been judges' teams, because I don't think that there was any team that, like, both of them actually killed it. Like, it was always one stronger person and then a weaker person.
Agreed.
But for me, the thing that stood out to me is when Roxxxy was doing that cut, she knew Nina was on the end.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was walking down there, I rewatched this. When she was walking down there, everybody was talking.
Mm-hmm.
As she would pass somebody would be like, "Yeah, keep walking that way, keep walking." She knew exactly where everybody was standing.
Knew where they were. She knew what I said that last week. I was like, she knew.
She did. And you know what she wanted? When she no, I think it was more than a moment.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to cut Angeria.
Mm-hmm.
She got behind Angeria and did her snips.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she turned around, she goes, "Oh no, I can't cut Angeria." She was waiting for RuPaul to say, "The decision's been made. Sorry,
Right.
it's too late."
Yep.
And Roxxxy was, I just know she was pissed that RuPaul let her change her mind
Yep.
because she wanted to cut Angeria. She just didn't have the balls to do it the respectful way, the upfront way, the way maybe it's going to happen back to her at the end of this episode. But she was just such a coward and so fake about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Roxxxy is my least favorite character this season. I'm rooting so hard against her. She should have maybe 1 star, just the sympathy star, but she has not deserved a win at all this season.
Ooh.
So I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with her.
I mean, I feel you on that. I didn't think she deserved to be in the top 2 anyway, and be in that position to do the snipping. But whatever. But Mick called her out and was like, "I think you did this on purpose." And she
Good
was
for
like,
you, Mick.
which I agreed with her. It's like, you really did, and you should have just gave it to Angie if that's what you wanted to do. Like you said, the respectable way, and be like, "Girl, it's the game, and I'm doing this. This is what I want to do." But no, she's like, "Oh my god, I can't." And Mick was like, "I think you heard the reaction." It was like, "Oh no, that's not a good idea. Let me change it." And it is what it is. But Angie
Diana Ross was in The Wiz.
it was what it was. Angie is like, "I don't know what to believe. I don't know. It just feels weird, but we gonna move. So they move. The next day, they get back into the workroom. Rue comes in looking like Pepto Bismol, and she comes in, and they are given a mini challenge of because this is all about politics. It's all about voting and getting your right to vote, which is a very important thing. And so they had to do it was really minority rules in this. That's what they played. They played
Majority.
minority rules. Majority. What did I say? Minority.
Yeah.
Majority rules. Majority rules. And so they ask a question. They pull up the paddle of who they think the answer is, and the majority will all get points. Fine. My question is, what was the purpose of the pit crew? Just to stand there and look pretty? Because they did nothing the whole
Look,
time.
I'm never going to be mad if I see Asaf on my screen. I love Asaf. He's very attractive. I don't know. Do you know him? He was on the challenge a couple times.
Oh yeah.
But he's so cute.
He's very cute. He's very cute. I mean, I was like, good for y'all to be just standing there looking pretty, because y'all did nothing. But they didn't even hold up the signs of the questions or nothing. It was just there. It came down to Georges and Nina, and Georges ends up winning. I forgot to put that banner together. But Georges wins the mini challenge. Good on Georges.
And not just that.
And
she got a badge.
A beautiful bit of badge. Only in America.
Yep. Good for her.
Good for her. I mean, I feel like with these badges, they're so like I think Ru can decide anytime, any place to give anybody a benefactor's badge whenever she feels like it. Like
I actually think it's kind of a bad thing for Georges that she won this badge through this challenge, because I think she might have had a chance of getting a different badge at the end of the episode if she didn't already get this one.
I mean, I don't see why she couldn't have got the other one at the end
of this. Is there a world where RuPaul's going to let Georges have 3 badges halfway through the season? I don't think so.
Like, I don't know the thing of histories of all that between Ru and Georges and all this thing.
Ru loves Georges, but come on. Like, we can't have Georges be a front runner, can we?
Why not? Roxxxy a front runner.
Roxxxy has a good reputation, and she's been a finalist before, and I don't know. She's made it to 2 finales.
I don't know all that stuff. I don't know all that information, but it is what it is. But so Georges wins, get a badge, get some money for the ASPCA. Good on her.
No. That's Vanjie's. That's Vanjie's charity, but I can't remember what Georges is.
Oh, Georgie is an AS. Oh no, Vanjie is ASPCA.
Yeah, Vanjie's. I don't. It's a good one, I'm sure.
I can't remember. I'm sorry, Georgia.
Isn't it like a Hispanic charity? Or is that Roxxxy's?
I think that's Roxxxy's. I forgot what Georgia's is. Anyway, but she gets money for her charity, and then she gets the opportunity to pick the order of what is going to be the maxi challenge, which is a roast at the drag convention.
National Alliance of Mental Illness. That's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. But so Georges gets to pick the order of who's going to go where in the roast that's going to happen at this convention. And so Georges is like, okay, great. Let's do this. So they get back together at the table, and she's deciding who's going to do first. And she said, Chanel, I think you should go first. You're a host. Chanel was like, good, I want to go first.
Makes sense
to me. And she was like, and I think to end it off, I think it's going to be Nina. And Nina was like, what? Me? I don't really want to. Me? Why? Me? But okay. But Nina is going to go last. So then everybody started saying where they wanted to go. It was like, Georgia said she wanted to be second. And Plastique was going to be third. And Roxxxy was going to be fourth. And Vange was going to be fifth. And she was going to be sixth. And Mick was going to be seventh. And that's how it was going to go. Everybody pretty much picked where they wanted to go, except for Chanel and Nina. But Chanel forgot what she wanted. Nina, not so much. Nina was like, ooh, that ain't what I wanted. It's a lot of pressure to close out the show. And I'm nervous about this. And So they were told that they were going to have a consultation with Michelle and Ruta. Was that
Ruta
her
Lee?
name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Ruta Lee.
Ruta Lee. She was on, and I remember her on Three's Company. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay. I was trying to remember, like, who was she in
she
Three's
was
Company?
not. She was a friend of the Ropers.
Oh, okay.
So
I
she
was like,
was.
she wasn't Mrs. Roper, was
No,
she?
she wasn't Mrs. Roper.
She would be too young probably to be Mrs. Roper.
Yeah, she was a friend of the Ropers or another neighbor of the Ropers. But she was on Three's Company. She was on Love Boat. She was on all these different shows. She's very supposed to be hilarious. And so Ruta Lee is there. Great. We go through the rehearsal. The rehearsals were pretty, you know, I think they got some really decent advice from Michelle and Ruta.
Yeah. The one thing that, or one of the things that stood out to me the most was Angeria. We saw her struggle, I think,
Mm-hmm.
more than just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you all can't get me, Drag Race. I know how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first sign that, oh, I think Angeria is going to do well, because they wouldn't be showing her struggling if she was actually going to struggle.
Right.
Um, yeah, but other than that, there wasn't a lot that stood out to me. It seemed like they were flying through this section of it.
Oh, they flew through it a lot. It was kind of just like, okay, let's just go. Like they got a couple of critiques and it was like moving along. Like I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that's it. That's it, huh? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they did give away some of the good jokes too. Like I think the persons whose jokes I laughed at the most during the rehearsal was Nina's.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see her do the exact same jokes in the actual roast. And I'm like, okay, well, those are funny, but they were funnier the first time I heard them. So that's
Right.
kind of the double-edged sword of this sort of thing. And it happens every time. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Right. It was
I
funny the
just
first time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even
It was.
with Gottmik, I felt like it was funnier in the rehearsal when she was going through them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear you. I agree with you. So we go back to the workroom and everybody's getting ready for the runway and the roast. And we got a couple of snippy comments between people. Like Nina was sniffing at George's for making her last, and George was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay," and he was like, "Yeah, if I win, I mean, snip and snip may be happening for somebody." And um, not Nina, Roxxxy was trying to shift the target off of her onto anybody else at this
Mhm.
point, and was kind of just like, I know it's look easy to give somebody a badge. I mean, give somebody the scissors because they got more badges, but you gotta think about the next challenge. We don't know what the next challenge is gonna be, and we don't know what's gonna happen here. So you might want to think about that before you just quickly decide to snip the person with the most badges out of the way. And everybody was like, "Okay, girl."
Yeah. And in a way, she has a point, but I don't think she went about it the right way. And I don't think there is a right way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I really think this is the format that they do these type of all-star seasons in. The person who is in the front is
Mm-hmm.
probably not the person you should be blocking or cutting,
Agreed.
because there has to be a certain number of people to make it to the finals anyways.
Right.
So really, if somebody is already looking like a pretty secure lock for that,
Mm-hmm.
then okay, I'm going to be in there with them. And who's going to block me from being in there with them? Because they're
Right.
probably already going to be in there. Like Roxxxy has a great shot of making it to the top 4 or 3, however they're going to whittle it down for the finale. So
Mm-hmm.
really, cut some other people that are at risk of getting their third badge.
Right.
That's the right strategy. But you can't present that as Roxxxy without sounding arrogant, and I don't know. Like there's no good way to be like, "Hey guys, I'm already kind of locked in for the finale. So why don't
Right.
you cut somebody else who's close and might take
Right.
your spot instead of me?"
Right, because we don't have that many episodes left, and I kind of got 3
Right.
already.
I'm already in
So,
there.
right.
You can pencil me in. I'm probably
Right.
going to get at least
Um,
one more, and I will be so secure and set.
you might want to block some money out. So it's
Right?
not.
But
Yeah,
it's true. It's
it's
true, but
very
you
true.
can't say it.
Right. It's very true. It is a very true statement. And it's hard to present your game without presenting your whole game, and where people
Mhm.
don't feel like you're being, like you said, being arrogant or of some sort. But
Mhm.
that was that. I think we're here, David. Right?
I think
I
so.
don't, I think we're there.
And I did hear you. It's the wrong music. I know that.
I did. I did. I was like, and I tried to put it in today, but I couldn't get it to do how I wanted to do it. But we said David will do it when David has a chance to do it at some point. Maybe before the All Star season is over. I don't know.
We'll see. You
We'll
know
see.
what? You want to know a cute fact?
What's that?
So this episode dropped on June 14th.
Yes, Flag Day.
Yep. You knew exactly where I was going. And I'm like, how
Mm,
cute is that? That we got Ruta Lee dressed as a flag on the
Flag
episode that
Day.
airs on Flag Day.
I love Flag Day. Flag Day is one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah, that's
No.
cool.
That is a joke I have said with my sisters for the longest, because
Oh,
I was like, I felt like a lot of holidays are very underappreciated,
mm-hmm,
and I'm like, why don't we get a big hoopla do on Flag Day?
mm-hmm.
Like, nobody celebrates Flag Day. So from that point on, I love Flag Day. I know what Flag Day is because I love it. I
Okay,
love Flag Day and
some
Arbor
quick
Day.
trivia questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Since it's Flag Day when we're recording this. Okay, who is credited with creating the original design for the American flag?
Susan B. Anthony.
It's actually Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. I knew that.
Yes, yes.
Wait, okay. Susan B. Anthony is somebody who I totally hate. I don't even know why I said that. Because I was watching the TikTok literally before we got here, and they mentioned her name. It's Betsy Ross. I knew that. I'm so stupid.
Okay, another question.
No, don't embarrass me.
There have been
No.
6 American flags
Mm-hmm.
planted on the moon. How
Mm-hmm.
many of those 6 are still standing?
I think it's maybe 2.
It's actually quite a bit more, since there's no sort of like friction or any sort of air in the moon. Most of them just stay up, but one of them was knocked down by Apollo 11 as it was leaving. So there are 5 still standing.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought people would just go and be like, let's replace this flag and take one down and put one back up.
Okay, last question.
Oh no.
The colors on the flag are called white, Old Glory red, and is it Star Spangled blue, Old Glory blue, or patriotic blue?
I think it's Star Spangled Blue.
It's actually Old Glory blue. It's
Why would
Old
they
Glory
call it
red
Old
and
Glory
Old
Blue and
Glory.
Old Glory Blue? That is so stupid. I hate flags now. You have ruined
Flag
my
Day
holiday.
sucks. No,
Flag Day sucks. I don't want to.
I had these trivia questions at my work this morning, so I'm like,
It's
they're all fresh in
so
my mind.
so stupid. I'm gonna celebrate Arbor Day more instead of Flag Day now. Like Flag Day more. Anyway, here are the judges. I think this is a great look on Rue. I like this pink. It's simple as pretty. It's fine.
I love all the texture that you could see like close up.
Yes.
There's so much detail. That whole like wind-stricken fabric effect, I think is super cool. So I think this is one of my favorite looks she's had so far this season.
Absolutely. I'm not feeling Michelle Visage Gypsy Rose look. I'm just not feeling that.
No, she
The
looks like she's
bodysuit.
about to tell somebody's fortune.
Right. It's just not. Carson looks perfectly fine with his pink, and it's Flag Day, and Miss Ruta Lee is giving us flags.
Yep.
And I'm like, all
she's
right,
got a
girl.
Texas flag underneath that. She showed it off and untucked.
Well, you go, girl. Sure. Do red, white, and blue, Texas, and all America. America.
But
I
she's
mean, but she got
Canadian.
the original flag, so I like that.
True.
It's not the one. But all right. Bob is here giving us the invocation. We love that. It was fun to see.
Yeah, I was super excited because Bob is one of my favorite
Mhm.
contestants ever on Drag Race. I love her, hence me having her shirt and wearing it. She's somebody I would have loved to see in All Winners. In fact, before there was an All Winner season, I always told people, I'm like, when there's an All Winner season, Bob's winning it. She's taking it home. But unfortunately, she wasn't on it. But yeah, it's always good to see her back. I will be honest. I didn't really laugh that much at her set. It didn't work for me. But she's still one of the funniest queens, period.
I thought she was funny. I was like, okay, it wasn't supposed to be something that was going. I think for me, I'm like, I don't think they wanted her to be super funny and outshine the queens, because like if her jokes are funnier than their jokes, and it's like, oh, well, got it. But I think she was funny enough just to start the whole thing off. It was cute. It was a cute moment.
True. And I still think she's winning. She's winning All Winners too.
Okay then. All right then. And I like that denim look from her. Yep. Looks good. Category is Atomic Blonde. Ooh.
This is an interesting background for that.
Yeah. It's blonde.
That's true. That's true.
It's blonde. Up first, Chanel.
I'm going to say familiar.
I'm going to say nice. Gorgeous.
Best George's episode ever.
Agreed. Plastic tiara.
Good, but not up to her standard.
Oh. Pipes. That's what I'll say. Roxxxy Andrews.
Where did your budget go for your looks, girl?
Huh? Huh? Vanjie.
I'm kind of obsessed with this.
Work. No. Work. Miss Angeria.
A lot of fur tonight.
Lots of fabric. Got Mick.
Such an impressive prosthetic.
I don't know. I don't know. Nina West.
Maybe best look of the night?
Possibly.
Who knew? Who knew for Nina West?
Who knew? Oh, wrong one already. I do it.
Where can we get more detailed looks or detailed thoughts on those looks?
I mean, if you check out our companion episode of shoot, I wasn't ready. But if you check out our companion look for
look over here.
There.
Look over here.
Okay. All right.
Look over here.
All right, stop it already. But yeah, check out our companion episode of Look Over Here, which will come out right after this one the next day. And you can get all of our detailed thoughts of all the looks. See, we're just giving you vague stuff, but we got our thoughts, deep dives, and scores all on our Look Over Here episode. So check that out. But we do have our top 2 because we get critiques from the judges, and they give some pretty good critiques. They were just like, nobody did bad. Like, they weren't upset with anybody.
Yeah.
In the roast. They were like, everybody kind of ate, which was, and Michelle, as Michelle said, was like the first time in Drag Race history that they didn't have no bombs in the roast. So I was like, oh.
Do we have pictures from the roast?
We do not.
Oh, that's okay. I do, like, if you don't mind, I do kind of want to briefly go through them and give some overall thoughts.
Oh, we didn't talk about the roast.
No, we didn't. But that's okay.
Because that's what happened. But yeah, let's talk about the roast.
Yeah. So first up, we had Chanel.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the same order. How about we go back through the looks we just had and talk about them? That way we have a visual of the people there. But Chanel started off first. And I thought she did well. Like you can tell that she is a natural host. She's somebody who's done this sort of thing many times, and it felt very natural. I do think for some reason it seemed like they showed the least amount of jokes from her. So that made it pretty clear to me, like, oh, she's probably not winning the challenge. But I thought she was very serviceable. Like, if I had to rank everybody, she would be in my bottom. I think she'd probably be 7th for me, but that's not because she was bad, because I think everybody was good. I just don't think anything she said left a strong impression on me.
I think Chanel was good and very safe and very, like, she did what she needed to do to start off a show, to open a show. Like, she got everybody comfortable. She got us in the mood that we're going to laugh. She cracked a couple of good jokes that were funny. And I was like, oh, okay. Not like gut busting funny. Like, you never put your strongest person at the beginning. You put your, capable person at the beginning. And they come out and they do it. They get the crowd warmed up and they're like, okay. So good. So when the next person comes out, the laughter gets a little bit better and better and better. And I think Chanel just set the mood perfectly. I thought she was a good host. She a good start. I thought she did okay. I would have, was she at the top? Safely in the middle for me.
That sounds about right. And then next we had George's. How about we take turns again, like we've done?
George's was freaking hilarious. George's, for me, I laughed so much at George's, and I did not think I was going to laugh so hard at George's. I screamed out laughter at her performance. I thought it was funny. She had good jokes. She literally took what Ru told her last week and used it this week, and it worked. It was so funny, and I thought she kind of ate that up. It was, for me, I thought she was the funniest. I thought she should have been in the top 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think she should have been in the top 2. I was kind of surprised she wasn't. I said it earlier, though. I do think she wasn't in the top 2 because she already got that badge earlier. And I think it would just be a hard pill to swallow that George's, maybe the person people had the lowest expectations for going into the season, definitely myself included, to be the front runner with 3 badges already, I think would be a little like, what, really? But no, I thought she was so funny. Like, I really thought that this whole going the butch direction was going to be a bad idea, especially seeing pictures of her in the past week. There were screenshots going around. I was like, no, this isn't going to be good. But I was just laughing so consistently throughout. And it really came down mostly to her delivery of it, which is the thing that I think she's had the biggest struggle with in the past, is she's not very good at delivering anything. Even if she does have a good joke, she stumbles over her words. She's awkward. She's kind of dead in the face. But all of that went away. And this is a completely different George's to me. Yeah, I think she was my number 1 for that. And I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe it.
I think she was so funny, and I hate that if that's the case, what they didn't want to give it to her because she had already got the badge earlier, and people will have a hard time swallowing the fact that Georgia's got three. I, I feel like you robbed her of a moment when she was really good, and she deserved that $10,000 for her charity. And it's like I felt like this is for charity. Why are we worried about what people would think about? Oh, well, the Georgia's being there. It's so dumb. Like I felt like she earned this one. This was one she earned, and it would have. It sucks that they didn't give it to her.
I
It
think
sucks.
these bonus badges this season are just throwing things off, and like Roxy shouldn't be the front runner.
Right.
She got an extra one. Vanjie with 2 over some other people, like Nina still has 1. That doesn't make sense. Even Georgia's getting this extra one. Like, I wish they just got rid of those. Like, don't count those.
Right. But I thought Georgia's was amazing.
Mhm.
But up next was Plastique Tiara, and another one who was funny that I didn't think was going to be as funny because I felt like I didn't. I mean, we saw her win the comedy challenge last week because she played this character, in which I was very happy that she let that click. Like, wait, if I play a character, I could use the character instead of just being Plastique trying to come out with jokes. I can be this character and have this whole thing. And it worked for her. It wasn't my turn though, and I continued to talk,
That's
but
okay.
it's okay. But I thought she was funny in this challenge. I laughed a lot with her as well. I don't think I laughed as much as I did with George's with Plastique, but I did laugh a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I did too. She was another surprise for me. Um, and what's interesting is she said she was coming out as a character, but for me, she was dressed as a character, but she wasn't really acting like a character. She was just being
Exactly.
herself, which is great. Like she didn't need to do much more. My only issue with her is that I do feel like she really relied on those cards.
Mm.
She was like reading off of them a lot, and I really like it when it just feels natural and like they've just got it memorized a bit better. So that was my only thing probably preventing her from being in my own personal top 2. I think she
Mhm.
was my 3rd favorite just because she had
Mhm.
legitimately funny jokes.
Absolutely. I agree. And I'll let you start this next one because I don't know how to stop.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I actually do think Roxy was pretty pretty good this episode. Yeah, she talked about it. We've seen her bomb roasts in the past,
Mhm.
but nothing was bombed here. Like she consistently was very funny. She for me was probably my 4th, but like there was no world where I would have put her in the top 2 because there was only 3 people in consideration for that
Mhm.
for me,
Mhm.
but she was still really good. She had lots of funny jokes. I wish I could remember them off the top of my head right now, but I know she had some funny ones. I laughed.
Yeah, she was funny. I thought she was again safe, funny, kind of like she cracked some good jokes. She talked about Rouge. She talked about Michelle. She talked about it was funny. I did laugh with her. I thought I think this roast as a whole was a funny roast.
Mhm.
These girls did what needed to be done, and everybody made me laugh. And I know me and Logan were talking about this earlier today off camera, but he was like, I wonder if this roast is going to make David laugh. That's the barometer. If David laughs, then we know it's pretty funny because David doesn't laugh at anything. And I was like, eh, we, David is harder to please when it comes to the roast, which I feel like
Especially if it's not in English.
right. I feel like I'm the same way with you, David. Like if they're not making me laugh, I don't enjoy it. This one was, I think, with the best roast that I've watched. I thought this one made me laugh the hardest, and I was enjoying it. But I thought Roxy was good, and she was
Mhm.
funny. Up next, Vanjie. Okay, now Vanjie was funny, but I think Vanjie was funny, and she was like, I'm here for the roast of it all. I want to roast you down. Like, even if it's not funny, I'm going to make sure I'm roasting you. Like, she was Vanjie was very Vanjie. This was just Vanjie doing what Vanjie do. She just talk and she go, what? It's not Rose. That was my favorite part when she was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not Rose. It's all Rose. I thought that was so funny. Like, you might think I was gonna be nice to people. It's all Rose. Was she the funniest? No, but she made me laugh. I enjoy her brand of comedy. I enjoy her brand, period. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually thought she was quite funny. It's just she's got that natural humor to her that I appreciate, and I kind of expected to like her because of that. She just
hmm
naturally is somebody that makes you laugh. It was a little bit like raw. It was like
hmm
rough around the edges, but I think that's what made it endearing to me. Because there's some people like maybe the audience isn't going to get your jokes, and that could really trip you up. But I thought she just had really good banter back at the audience, kind of putting them in their place. So
hmm
honestly, I thought she was quite good. She might be my number 6 of the night.
Okay. Angeria.
Yeah, Angeria. I knew it. I didn't fall for it. She was very funny. Very funny. Yeah, I just cannot believe how much I've fallen in love with Angeria this season because before this season I was like, "Oh yeah, she's that boring queen from her season. That was good but boring." But she is so lovable and rootable and funny this season. And yeah, I absolutely thought she deserved her place in the top 2 this week. For
hmm
me, it was pretty close between her and Georges for who was funniest for me. I probably would give her second, but
hmm
maybe that's because I expected her to be funny and Georges just
hmm
took me by surprise. But yeah, she killed it.
I think, and this has nothing to do with, well, it has something to do with Angeria, but Georges, I just remembered my favorite joke from Georges. It was for Angeria. She was like, Angeria is so country. How country is she? This girl said she eat ass with a side of collard greens. And I said,
Yeah.
stop it. I
she
screamed.
she
I
douches with sweet tea.
with sweet tea. Baby, I died. I died. I was like, you are so dumb. That was the funniest thing I heard. And that's why I was like, Georgia just won this for me. With those two jokes by
Mhm.
themselves, I was done. But Angeria was so funny as well. And her delivery was so like her timing was great. She would get you, and she was like, I guess vote for me, whatever the F this is, we here for. I think she's just so naturally funny. And
Mhm.
all she had needed to do was get that kick to say, okay, let me get out of my feelings. And that time that she had with Michelle was able to get her out of those feelings and just focus on the funny.
Right.
And because she's a great storyteller, and then with her voice and her accent, it's always gonna be funny. It's always gonna be funny. And she just got up there and told jokes that were funny. And I loved Angeria in this moment. She was so funny to me. So funny to me.
Agreed.
Got Mick. I I don't think Gottmik did bad, but she was the worst out of this great group of people. Like she just didn't have the energy that I was looking for, and I thought she was going to give us a lot more energy, especially because she had did great on her roast in her previous season that we saw. And I was like, okay, Mick is gonna come in and she got these comedy chops and she's gonna eat this up. And I was a little disappointed because it just felt a little low energy, but her jokes were still funny, but just low energy.
Mhm. I agree. Yeah, I think she was probably my biggest disappointment in this roast because I know she's funny. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
definitely proven that this season. Um, and I know there's been a lot of controversy with her roast too. I haven't looked into it too much. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
So apparently, several of her jokes in her set were taken straight word for word from sets that Nikki Glazer has done in her
Oh,
special.
oh.
And so there's been a lot of backlash online from that. I just heard about all of this tonight. Uh, yeah, and I guess she did respond. She tweeted out and says, "Wait, do you guys think everyone wrote their jokes? LOL. Nikki is my queen, so working a few of her jokes was a duh for me. Love her." So okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't know that they were Nikki Glaser jokes, so I'm not too mad about it. But with that said, her delivery of it was not up to par for where everybody else was in this roast. So yeah, she was my least favorite. And I thought I thought the last three people would be the top three, like her, Nina, and Angeria. So I was disappointed with her.
Mm. And last but not least is Nina West.
Yeah, I kind of already said it, but we got some really funny jokes from her in the rehearsal. So hearing it the second time just did not have the impact. Like I wish I could have seen this fresh and just not known what to expect at all, because those were funny jokes. And she sure was punching at Chanel a lot, which is cute because I know that they've become friends this season quite a bit. So, but yeah, she had a lot of funny jokes. I mean, it's just, she's another one like Got Mick though. It's like my expectations were so high and she didn't quite live up to them. So I think I'm probably judging her a little harsher than I would somebody like Georges, honestly. But with that said, I do think I probably had her 5th overall for the night.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I think we heard most of her funniest jokes in the rehearsal, and which is not her fault. It's the editing and how they did it. But hearing it the second time, I was like, oh, okay. But not as funny as when you first heard it. It was like, oh, that's so good. I don't think her being in that closing spot was a bad move. And I think if her jokes were funny enough to close the show for the people who were just hearing it for the first time, I think she did, I think us as the audience are kind of like, it could have been somebody else's jokes because we didn't hear all their jokes, but we heard most of her jokes. So, but like to the people who were sitting in the audience, they enjoyed it. They laughed, because didn't hear them. So I thought Nina did well, but yeah, I think the editing kind of messed it up for her, honestly.
What's interesting though is that we did this time we had a top 5 because they always talk about who's in the top during the part where the judges are deliberating by themselves, and usually it's a top 4. The past couple of weeks they talked about everybody because they were in teams, but this time it was actually a top 5, and the people left out were Gottmik, Vanjie, and Nina. So
interesting. But we do get a top 2 from, and our top 2 are Angeria, Paris Van Michaels, and Plastique Tiara. I was like, okay, should have been Georges over Plastique, but
I'm not mad because Plastique having 3 badges feels very correct at this point because she's done so well. Like these two are killing it.
They are eating it up, and I enjoy them. I was like, all right. So the lip sync song was "Be My Lover," LaRouche. I was like, hey, I like this song. I know this song. "Be My Lover," won't you? I was like, I know this song. Okay, cool. I had one huge problem with this lip sync.
Oh no, I know what it's gonna be. I bet.
I'm sure you do. And the winner deserved to win. Let's just be honest. The winner deserved to win. But my hugest problem in this lip sync, I was like, Plastique.
I knew it.
Plastique, tapping the mic. Plastique, hello. Can you hear me? What? How you just go stop lip syncing in the middle of a lip sync and turn it over to the other person? Like, here, you do it. I'm like, I mean, I get it. It's a, duet. It's kind of, I guess, duet type of. It's not even a duet. It's a rap break. It's a rap break. It's not even a duet. It's a rap break. Why ain't you going to do a rap break?
Yeah, I knew that's what you were going to say. And I agree, but I am going to take into account that I've been to lots of drag shows and I've seen lots of drag numbers, and queens often, when there's a song that they're doing that is mostly a woman singing the song, and then there might be a part where a man interjects. A lot of the queens will not lip sync that part because they don't want to take away the illusion that they're the woman singing the song. So I think that's what she was going for. And that's probably why she was like, oh, let the man do it, probably, which is kind of shady. But you can't do that on Drag Race. You can't do that on Drag Race. And if you are,
the whole song.
Yeah, if you are going to do, you got to do something like Megami did with like the hand.
Right.
Yeah, which was clever. So I just don't think
clever.
I don't think Plastique had a clever cover up for not doing that. And it's no coincidence that that's a very wordy part of the song too. So it probably was like,
I don't know.
I don't really know all these words anyways. So
here, you do it. I was just like, child. But Angeria wins and deserved.
Oh yeah, she was very good.
She was really good. I enjoyed her in this lip sync. I
think my favorite part, I don't know why, but when she was doing the back bend at the very end, and then the song like completely stopped, and then she goes all the way down. I was like, you're so dumb.
It was so funny. She was like, like so freaking good. It was so good. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought she ate it up. She did what she needed to do. Plastique, stop singing, so you automatically lose when you do that to me. But I thought it was a good lip sync.
So who did you think she was going to cut? Because I had a very specific person I thought she was going to go for. And I'm curious if it's the same for you.
I thought she was going to cut who she cut.
Okay, I did not.
I thought she was, I felt like she didn't believe the shenanigans she pulled last week. And I get it. I get it. It's like, is it strategy or emotional? It's probably emotional. And sometimes you get to be emotional, but
yeah. I didn't think she was going to go for Roxxxy because we've already seen Roxxxy can be very vindictive when it comes to being cut. So I didn't think Angeria would want to risk continuing that feud when they were already even as it is. So I thought she had a pretty easy out considering Roxxxy wasn't the only one who cut her. It was a joint decision with Vanjie. Vanjie also has 2 badges. So she had the most badges of anybody out there besides Roxxxy, or tied for it at least. So I was like, that's an easy decision. Just cut Vanjie. I expected her to do that, but she didn't.
No, she didn't do it. She cut off Roxxxy instead. Like I said, I think she did it for emotions. Like I don't think she believed Roxxxy did that thing. Here's my thing, Roxxxy. To me, and this is me, my opinion only. The views that I'm about to share does not say all the views of the cup or David or anyone else who's associated with the cup. But to me, Roxxxy is dangerous, but in a different way. Roxxxy is a Karen and a Ken all at the same time. And she has the she has the bravado of a white man, and she has the very much Ken energy, and she has the victimization of a Karen. Because when she's in drag, she's Karen. But because we watching the previews next week, she's already mad. She's mad at Angeria for picking her, and she's crying. And I'm so sick of Roxxxy's. Like, I want to collect all of Roxxxy's tears in my cup mug. Just go collect, and so I can. Because I really don't. She is my least favorite character in this season of this show. I've never seen Roxxxy Andrews in any other capacity other than this show in this season. And I am not liking this person. I'm not liking her out of drag. I am not liking her in drag. I feel like she is just ill to me, like very ill. Like I get the ick from Roxxxy Andrews. And I don't know what it is. I just don't like her. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, my personal opinion. You do not have to agree with me. Roxxxy can be your favorite queen of all times, and I will respect that. For me, she does not do it. And in this season, she is very much coming off as a Karen that I am just not feeling at all. Like, she feels very entitled, like she should be in this position. She should be at the top of the car. And sometimes that's very confidence. It's like, look, I know I'm good. And you can have that confidence, but her confidence is a very thin line between confidence and entitlement. And I feel like she's crossing the line a little bit from time to time from her confidence to entitlement. And I don't like that about her. And I want to like her because I really like this season. I'm enjoying this season. I'm enjoying everybody else. I am not enjoying this woman or this person. I'm not enjoying them at all. And she's mad that Angeria had cut her again. And I'm like, and she's like, just know I'm vindictive. We know. We know. We saw what you did before. We know.
Yeah. This is interesting because this is her third time playing, but she is always such a mixed bag every time she is on Drag Race, because she's almost like a drink that you drink that's like really, really good. And then the more you sit with it, it's like, oh, this has a bitter aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
Like her first season, she had some incredible moments. She had like one of the most mind-blowing moments when she did the first wig reveal in Drag Race history. But like near the end of the season, she just became so bitter towards Jinx, the eventual winner, and was just straight up a bully to her. And it was just impossible to root for her by the end. And then in All Stars, she came and she started off so strong. Like she killed it in the talent show. She was the first winner from the very first episode of All Stars 2. And then it just all went downhill from there. But she had friends from her first season that kept protecting her. And every time they would have power to cut somebody, it would be Roxxxy and somebody else in the bottom two. And they would always keep their friend for whatever reason. And so the audience just really soured on her and was like, well, you all are just dragging her along. Like, and it was just so annoying. And even now, like, I think she started off with some highs. I don't think they were high highs, but there was just like this air of respect for her. And then as we're getting along, her personality is just really putting me off. I don't know if that's how the whole like world of viewers feel as well, or if it's just me. But right now, I'm like, I would not stomach a Roxxxy Andrews win at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling that. I can't do it. But like I said, just my personal opinion. I don't know. I don't like the woman.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it. We talked about it. We're gonna go and look over here and look over there and give you our in-depth thoughts about the looks. So if you want to check out our companion episode, it will be dropping very shortly after this one. So if you haven't hit the subscribe and the notification bell and the buttons, what are you doing? Hit the button right now. Well, wait. Go ahead. Do it.
We're looking at you.
I see you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Another one. Thank you. Another one. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we appreciate all of you. So keep hitting those subscribe buttons, share this video, share this content with some people who you know are into drag or drag race of any kind. Let them know. We got a podcast you should check out. They're great. And if you want to check out all of our other channels, go look in our description below and hit the link tree where all of our YouTube channels are there, as well as our audio listening podcast links are there as well. So you can go check us out on the go. Follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow David and myself as well. And you can get your cup merch at lanascreation.etsy.com. That link is also in the description below. And yeah, we're going to get out of here and we'll be back next week. So cheers, y'all.
Cheers. And the draft is super close. We'll give you an update
Oh.
next week.
I forgot about that, but
I did too.
it doesn't matter.
We're all
Bye.
points.